Alright, yeah, welcome back to some more Magic Arena, and today we're going to be playing some more Historic Artisan while we still can, and this list is not an original one by me, though I did build this one from scratch off of the idea. There is a green-black Reanimator strategy going around in Historic Artisan right now that's built around the two Godzillas, or Titanoth Rex and Void Beckoner. These two cards right here are going to be our reanimation strategies, because Historic Anthology 3 gave us Unburial Rights. So we're going to be playing some Abzan Reanimator, essentially. The only actual white splash is for the flashback on Unburial Rights. But yeah, Godzilla Primeval Champion and Space Godzilla Void Invader are going to be our reanimation targets, a 8/8 Death Touch and an 11/11 Trampler. So the idea behind this deck is a self-mill strategy. We've got things like Stitcher Supplier, Skull Prophet, and Glowspore Shaman, and Gorging Vulture as well, to put cards from our library into our graveyard. Now, if we get the Space Godzillas and Godzillas into the graveyard, absolutely fantastic. The one thing that we don't want to see is our reanimation targets going into, or our reanimation cards, should I say, going into the graveyard. So in the case of Blood for Bones and Bond of Revival, that's not particularly good. However, Unburial Rights with the flashback actually allows us to cast this from our graveyard, so we can actually reanimate a Godzilla 11/11 Trample as early as turn 4 if we get lucky on those flips. This is pretty much a high roll deck, I would say. But if these get stuck in our hand as well, it's not the end of the world, since they've got cycling on both of them. 1 and a green on the green Godzilla, which puts a trample counter on a creature you control, and then Space Godzilla puts a death touch counter on a creature you control. They actually synergize quite well together as well. So in the case of like Godzilla, if we're attacking in with 11/11s and our opponent blocks with a 1/1, let's say a 4/4, I guess. The block with a 4/4. If we cycle Space Godzilla and attach the death touch counter to Godzilla, the damage required to make it lethal is actually only 1. So for every blocker is 1 point taken off of Godzilla. So if our opponent only blocks with 1 creature, we can deal 10 damage, which is pretty sweet. Bond of Revival gives haste to the creatures that get revived as well, so this can be a really good surprise card for Godzilla. Blood for Bones allows us to reuse certain targets as well, so if we want to continue to mill, we can reanimate using Blood for Bones, maybe even Chupacabra, our removal source of choice, as well as Heartless Act as 2 copies. We want mainly permanent base stuff, but I figured I'd add in some early game removal, because I don't believe this deck to have a particularly good aggro matchup, to be honest. We do have some blockers, but other than that, I don't think we're ever going to win a matchup where our opponent has a pretty nutty aggressive hand. But we're going to try at least, killing our opponent's stuff with Chupacabras, which we can recur with Blood for Bones. This sacks a creature and then returns one to the battlefield, and then puts a creature from the graveyard to your hand. So you can either sack and return the same creature, in the case of like Ravenous Chupacabra, or you can sack Llanowar Elves and bring back a Godzilla, and then put the Llanowar Elves in your hand, something like that. You basically get some additional value where there's no real cost to that additional cost there. But yeah, I think the deck should speak for itself for the most part. We've got a lot of tap lands in our deck, which makes me a little bit concerned about these Stitcher Suppliers. I don't know if they're actually as good as they might otherwise appear. I think I may even want 4 Glowspores and 4 Gorging Vultures over Stitcher Supplier, but if you can get that early turn 1 mill, then that's pretty good. But yeah, we've got 5 swamps, 5 forests, 1 plains, because we are running 2 evolving wilds, so we can grab the plains for the Unburial Rights. But other than that, all of our white sources are stuck into our tap lands. 2 Blossoming Sands, 2 Scoured Barrens, and the 4 Jungle Hollow, since we are base green-black. But anyway, we're going to leave it there. If you do enjoy the content, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe, and we're going to be getting to some gameplay. Hopefully you guys enjoy. See you there. This video is brought to you by the generous support of our wonderful patrons and channel members that you see here. If you'd like to support the channel and get access to cool content like sneak peeks, bonus videos, polls on future content, or access to a personal deck critique from myself every month, then hit the join button down below, or check out the Patreon link in the description. With all that said, let's get into the gameplay. Okay then, we're in, and a bit of a slow hand because of the tap lands and all, but I think we can keep this one nonetheless. See what our opponent's playing. So yeah, ideally we want an untapped land so we can play Skull Prophet on time, but, you know, we'll figure it out, I'm sure. Alright, what are we up against? Green and Death Touch Tribal. Okay, well these Heartless Acts can be pretty good. They can also be pretty garbage. We've got an Unburial Rites in the yard, which is good. That means a turn for Godzilla Primeval Champion. Oh yes. Transcendent Envoy. Now I have absolutely no idea what I'm playing against. We'll go Skull Prophet. If we do get the land next turn, then we've got an 11/11. Does have to contend with a Moss Viper, admittedly, but... Ugh. Okay, and a fight spell. Well, you're getting Heartless Acted. Tell you right now. Take 4. Give me a land. Yaw. Okay. So, let's just Heartless Act that now while they can't protect it. 3 enchantments in the yard. Not sure if that's relevant or not, but we'll see. Yeah, a bit of a shame that our arch nemesis, the Death Toucher, is currently giving us so much trouble. I mean, I guess we can Heartless Act it. At the end of the day, it's not all that bad. Alright, so I'm going to hold the Heartless Act for the chance of them actually suiting up this Transcendent Envoy, otherwise I'm going to get rid of the Moss Viper. So I can attack him with my 11/11, which I think our opponent cannot race. Alright, so let's do that. Destroy the Death Toucher. And then we shall Unburial Rites Godzilla. An 11/11 Trample, please. Can give it a Death Touch later as well, so that it basically gets 10 points in. Guaranteed, because of how Death Touch and Trample works. Might as well get in for 1. Opponent's unlikely to block, and I've got my Godzilla, so really don't mind. Sentinel's Eyes. Okay. And getting in for 1. You might as well, I guess. Not much of a reason not to. Unless you don't plan on blocking with it. Fair enough. Alright, well. Go, 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 Godzilla. You are letting it go. Fair. Well, take 8. And, well, we'll cycle this now. Put a Death Touch counter on Godzilla. I guess we should put it on the Stitcher Supplier. I don't know if it really makes too much of a difference, to be completely honest. If we got an untapped land, we'd put it on both. It's more the fact that this is basically only needing to deal 1 damage through blockers, so it's 10 points coming at them. They need to kill me right now. 9 points with 2 blockers. So, yeah, I mean, I'll choop the Transcendent Envoy, because I can. And then we'll swing for lethal. Death Touch and Trample, ladies and gents. It's one hell of a thing. So they block, because they're forced to. 1 point is enough to kill Paradise Druids. Yeah, it still carries over. And they take too much damage and die. Good stuff. Alright, that's a really nice first showing for the deck. Taking down green-white Boggles. Okay, we're in, and it's not bad. Again, it's kind of like turn 1 tap land, so Stitcher Supplier's in an awkward spot. I'm actually wondering whether Stitcher Supply is even a good card for this deck. Because of the sheer amount of tap lands that we do have, we're not really playing on turn 1, which is the ideal time to do so. Alright, so we're up against some sort of Knights build. Stitcher Supplier at the very least is going to be a good blocker. And there's Space Godzilla. Alright, well, Stitcher Supplier, let's mill over some stuff. Perhaps we will get a target for our Unburial Rites. Not really. Not particularly. Alright, so do they have the Venerable Knight? I think it's called. Inspiring Veteran. Completely the wrong one. We're just going to mill again. I need some good cards in my yard. Well, there's my 11-11. Alright, so if we can get there, we're in a good spot. Pass the turn. So we got Chupacabra hopefully next turn. We're going to be able to cycle Space Godzilla to try and find that double black that we need to get rid of their Inspiring Veteran. Oof. Yeah, and now it's indestructible. I feel like we're going to lose this game now. That's probably all it takes, to be honest. Yeah, double indestructible. Oof. Alright, cycling. Get a Skull Prophet and a Gorging Vulture. Okay. I mean, how do we win here? It's probably just not gonna happen. Let's go Gorging Vulture to gain some life. We can block some Dauntless Bodyguards, I guess. Burial Rites in the yard. So if you get a land, we've got some reanimation without having to kill our Gorging Vulture, because we're blocking. We're blocking to survive. More knights. Yep. We're taking 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So 16 points if they don't add anything to the board, essentially, is what we're taking. It's not realistic that we win this one. Our deck does not deal very well with aggressive cards, especially with if you block this, you lose dot card. Alright, well, let's move on to the next one. Alrighty then, let's have a look. See, we've actually got a pretty decent hand, to be honest. Glowspore Shaman can mill some stuff over if we want to go that way. Otherwise, we can just cycle Godzilla in. We've got the certainty of a good reanimation target at the very least, so I'm quite happy with this one. I guess we'll go with Blossoming Sands into Swamp for the Glowspore Shaman. Something like that. And then turn 3 Jungle Hollow. I'm sure we'll hit a land with the Shaman, so that'll be our turn 4 land. And then Blood for Bones, Godzilla, maybe? I don't know. We'll see how this works out. We'll see if our opponents actually play Magic the Gathering. Opponent? This is pure chaos. Alright, we in, boys. Alright, Blossoming Sands, go. Blue doesn't make me too comfortable with the outcome of this one. Thought Erasure. Well then. Take Blood for Bones or Glowspore Shaman. It's one or the other. Yep, Glowspore Shaman it is. Alright, fine. Well, we got Llanowar Elves, so there's a Blood for Bones target next turn. It's not a very good one, admittedly. So it looks like the disinformation campaign kind of deck, which is fine by me. Play a land. I think we will cycle Godzilla, see if we can get a Llanowar Elves. Oh, so good. Yeah, this is like a horrifically bad matchup, I would say, because it's just jam-packed full of removal and death-touching creatures, so yeah, we're going to have some trouble. Yep, using all the Cry of the Carnariums. So next turn, we've got Unburial Rites, Bond of Revival. Not sure which one we want to go with just yet, but double rights, double revival means we've got this thing incoming a fair few times. I might go with Bond first because it's got the haste attached to it. Blood for Bones. Yeah, let's just do Bond of Revival, haste it up, while our opponents probably got their removal down. And then, yeah, they either have to have removal or they die. There's Ravenous Chupacabra, okay. So it's down. Go Jungle Hollow Rites. Bring back Godzilla. It's actually exactly enough to kill them if they don't have the answer. Chainer's Edict. Sure. I feel like we're actually going to lose. Our opponent's just going to have all the answers, are they? Ooh, burial rights again. Never mind. I'm going to have all the answers. It's an 11-11. It's back again. Next. You got another Choop. 7 mana for the Edict. Okay. Well, let's get in. Got to block with the Predator and whatnot. Take him to 3. Godzilla dies. Godzilla comes back. Oh, this has got to be miserable for our opponent. We've just found all the reanimation. It's dead again. Not legendary, even though it's called Godzilla. Yep, you can take on burial rights, I guess. Yeah, so I've only got 2 more reanimations of my 11-11. Oh no. Ooh, Llanowar Elves. What's the odds that they've got something that eats my graveyard? Because I could go Llanowar Elves, Blood for Bones. I think that's actually what I want to do. Sack Llanowar Elves. Get back. Godzilla into play. And... do I go Llanowar Elves so I can Blood for Bones it? I guess so. Opponent's played all the Cry of the Carnariums, so... 3 more reanimations. Do you have more removal? Usually I would say this is a horrible matchup, but the draws that we just had were absolutely insane. I don't know if many control decks could keep up with the amount of times that I reanimated Godzilla right there. How many times did I even do it? Twice here. Once here. So it's 3, 4... I think it's 5, 6. 6 times I did Godzilla? I don't know. I honestly lost count. But yeah, it's pretty hard to keep up with that. Because they... Chained Edict, one of them. Chooped another. Cast down another. And that was it, actually. So, yeah, good stuff anyway. Let's move on to the next game. Alright, we're in. We've got a good hand if it had any lands in it other than a single jungle hollow. I'm tempted. I am honestly tempted to keep this because if I draw a land, it's great. But I'm not that crazy. Alright, this hand's not too bad. Gorging Vulture to fill the yards. We don't need to cycle Space Godzilla necessarily. We can use that to give this Death Touch. Bond of Revival, solid reanimation source. We'll put 1 back though. Opponent kept their 7, so we're gonna go Swamp and pass. See if we can draw like Glowspore Shaman or Skull Prophet. Those would be pretty good draws. And Burial Rights, okay. What are you playing, opponent? Please don't be Dimir. I know we've beat Dimir already, but I'd rather not play against it again. Ah, it's the Draw 2 deck. Okay. We should have a reasonable game against that. So I think I'm actually going to go Glowspore Shaman, because I do want to make my land drop next turn. Oh, come on. Evolving Wilds, fine. I guess we weren't really doing anything for 4 mana anyway. Alright, so there's the opt. So they get themselves a 1-1. This is Juan. The Juan. Alright, Evolving Wilds. Go grab our 1-of planes so we can unburial rights. And then we'll play Gorging Vulture and hope to find some good cards. Well, there's a Space Godzilla in there, I guess. I'm not gonna attack, I don't think. I mean, they probably have shocks in their deck, so do I trade off here? I guess I do. Mostly because if they don't have that many 1/1s, they can't block my Space Godzilla forever. I'm deciding to take the damage instead, which is interesting. Dorats. Okay. And nothing. Alright, well, we're gonna go on Burial Rites and bring back Space Godzilla. And we're just gonna swing. We're offering trades wherever our opponent wants to take them. So now if we could get a Titanoth Rex or Green Godzilla, we can give this trample. The real issue is Dorat here. We're gonna need Chupacabra to answer that. Yeah, I just need the trample on my Space Godzilla. This one's not the ideal reanimation target, granted. Ooh, opponent wants to take that chance that I will not have trample next turn. Fair enough. I mean, this is a race and our opponent can very much win it without much trouble. Let's go with a swing with Glowspore Shaman. I would kind of want to leave Gorging Vulture back so I can block Dorat with Space Godzilla's Cycle. But I admit that I am trading off a 1-1 for a 3-1 here. Or not. Or that was just the best move I could have possibly made. Flame Sweep. You know? That's a thing. That's a thing, alright. Okay, well, Jungle Hollow, Skull Prophet. Need to mill over some good cards. If I can get like Titanoth Rex, I've got that 11/11 haste in Trample. Should be really useful. I like to think our opponent won't see that one coming. But who honestly knows at this point? Taking some damage. Scoured Barrens. Okay, mill the top two. They're terrible draws. On Burial Rites, Gorging Vulture. Yeah, it's not bad. Trade a 1-1. Come on, Titanoth Rex. 11% chance to see you on every single top deck. That's all I really need. Just need to cycle my Space Godzilla over. Where our opponent's been blocking has been very, very risky. Ah, come on! We're gonna die. We're gonna die. Chupacabra. Yeah, I mean... this game's over. We've already lost. It's like they play one spell, Crackling Drakes kill me. I guess I've got, like, Burial Rites on a Gorging Vulture, but... it's not that good. Oh, we ate lots of creatures, so we went up to 14. Just gotta buy myself some time. We've not hit any of our good cards. Another Dorat. And an Narset. So our cycles are terrible. Great!
Like wind and wave. Meditate and prepare.
Yep, Chemist's Insight. So we're blocking Dorat. We are taking probably 10. Realistically, that is a spell that can pump up Crackling Drake. And yeah, we just don't... we don't have anything to do. Oh! Perfect timing. Perfect timing. 1, 2... oh, it's so close! So close! So, we cycle Godzilla, we put Trample on. If we had a land, which... apart from Narset, we would be able to draw and have a chance of that. We'd be able to Bonder Revival the Godzilla out. That would be an 11/11 Trample and an 8/8 Trample Death Touch. So that's 7 and 18 damage. 16 with 2 blocks. That is so unbelievably unlucky, and we're not going to be able to find out if that's an option. Tilt. Alright, well, Unburial Rites. I mean, I've got to go for another Gorging Vulture, I think, and just hope that it hits 9 million creatures. I don't think the math works out in our favor there either. Yeah, let's go after Narset. See if they let it go. I just want to know if there's a land on top. We're not going to get to find out, though. 7 points at Narset.
This was overwhelming.
And yeah, they've already got enough damage here. That's so mean. That is so mean. Wizards, implement the look at the top card of your deck before you concede button. I just need to know if there's a land there, because that was lethal. That was lethal if there was a land there. And I'm so mad. Flame Sweep my Gorging Vulture. Alright, so they had it all. They never stopped. Alright, next game. Alright, let's have a look-see. It's another turn 1 tap land situation. But this hand's otherwise not the worst in the world. It's basically like an early game mid-range thing until we can find either Titanoth Rex, aka Godzilla, or Void Beckoner, aka Space Godzilla. We'll see which one we can get. Obviously, Titanoth Rex, the 11/11 trample, is the ideal one here. But, I mean, we've got all sorts. Yeah, we really just want to essentially just find some self-mill. So, Stitcher Supplier, Glowspore Shaman, Skull Prophet, all of those are going to be pretty good. I'm going to lead off with the Blossoming Sands, just because I've got all 3 colours of mana in play once I play this Swamp. Or, I can actually just go Jungle Hollow and make the most of these tap lands, while I've got nothing better to do. Opponent appears to be playing the exact same matchup. Yes, it is the mirror match. Okay, this is going to be amusing. Well, for a time anyway. Our opponent's already got their particular Blood for Bones target, which I guess I should choop. Yeah. I should choop their Shaman so they can't get anywhere near it, I guess. Then we got Blood for Bones on Chupacabra. Blood for Bones enters the graveyard. So let's get in with Chupacabra. Opponent takes it. We'll just play Llanowar Elves, Scoured Barons, and pass the turn. Short of them having actual Bond of Revival, which they can't have on this particular turn. We've not really got anything to worry about. If I just want a Blood for Bones Chupacabra, that's an option. Gonna go after my Llanowar Elves. Okay. And we get Void Beckoner. Right, so... Can I actually cast this? 8? No. Not entirely. Right, so... Can cycle this for 3. And we've only got 3 mana, so I'd have to actually top deck a land. I might go in with my creatures, and if they block like that, I'll cycle my Space Godzilla to give Llanowar Elves Death Touch. I think that's fine. Next turn I can Unburial Rites. 'Tis a weird matchup. Faux show. Alright, so we're going to Rites out the 8/8. And swing for 2. I'm pretty sure this mirror is basically who can reanimate the most times in a row. Sunblade Angel. Alright. Well, it's dead now. Boop your Angel. And offer trades with the Vulture and the Choop. I don't think they'll take it, but... Yep, take them to 16. So our only real issue is that we only have one target for reanimation right now. So I guess I should be Glowspore Shamaning, because our opponent definitely has targets. They've got the Sunblade Angel, 1 Rex, 2 Rexes. So it's definitely not ideal. So let's go with Glowspore Shaman. Yeah, still not hitting anything. I don't think I want to land. I think I'm just fine as I am. And yeah, we'll get in. Opponent's taking it all. Wowee. Alright. So, unfortunately, because Llanowar Elves has got a counter on it, it means we can't kill it with Heartless Act. But I don't believe that to be an issue. Alright, Meteor Golem kills Space Godzilla. That is fine. We actually win. Kill Meteor Golem. And because we got Bond of Revival, it means we can haste out Space Godzilla for the 8 damage. Also, you know, lots of damage here. And yeah, victory. So yeah, it was just a case of, in this particular situation, our opponent didn't actually reanimate and we did, so I guess we won. I don't know if there's really any other kind of situations where this doesn't just come down to the luck of the draw. But yeah. Yeah, move on to the next game. Okay then, we're in. And I think this is a fine hand. We've got turn 1 tap land, but no 1 mana play, so that's fine. And then we've got Skull Prophet to lead off. Work our way up to Chupacabra, perhaps even cycle these guys for the Bond of Revival later down the line. Opponent plays Arboreal Grazer into Simic Guildgate. Okay. So it could be just normal fixing, but I doubt it. This is just a strictly better tap land if you're not running Gate Synergy. So I imagine they're either some sort of Gates deck, or they're just Simic, I guess. And they want all the tap lands. It's up to them, I suppose. Land drop for us, maybe? Good stuff. Alright, because I think we want to Chup here. I don't think we want our opponent continuing to mutate onto that Great Horn. So we got that pressure going. We can cycle to give Death Touch on an attack later down the line. So like if I went and swung like this, it would look incredibly suspicious. So I either get a free block or I Death Touch up the Parcel Beasts. Yep, that's a Death Toucher. It's keeping our creatures off the board, our opponent's creatures, sorry. Because we don't want them really having the Starix, which I think comes down on 6 naturally. Because it just really shoves out permanents like crazy, and we don't want that. Like this. But they're kind of out now. Out of fuel. Do I want to Bond of Revival and 8/8 Death Touch? Seems like a good idea, for sure. So I think I'll do it. 8/8 Death Touch. We can cycle the Godzilla to make it a Death Touch trample, so that only 1 point gets assigned to our opponent's creatures, and everything else carries over, which is really good. So for now, they get an easy block. After that, it's not going to be so easy. And we can set up a Bond of Revival on this Godzilla as well to finish our opponent off. It's like we've got Gorging Vulture plus the Primeval Champion cycle. Next turn. Into the Bond of Revival. Alright, so there's the Auspicious Sterix. The card we kind of don't want to see. It just got them a land though, so that's fine. Let's see if they want to attack. I can see them wanting to get in for 1 point. Okay, so yeah, let's just get in with Space Godzilla. See if they block. 7 points of damage if they block with 1 creature. I'm just going to let it go. Well, I'm still going to do it, because I need to. Let's give it Trample. Another Godzilla, okay. And then we'll do Gorging Vulture, I guess, just to put a blocker down that we can block the Starix with. maybe gain some life. That was actually the worst mill I've ever seen in my entire life. That's frankly offensive, Magic the Gathering. I really wanted all of them. They were all great. To be honest, not that interested in blocking. As much as I said I would play it for that sole purpose. I don't think I really need to. Alright, so we're going to Bond of Revival out an 11/11 Trample. Swing, swing. Force our opponent to block. Don't even know how much damage this is. 19 minus 9, so 10 damage. So we've got him dead. Yep. Cool. Bond of Revival. Pretty sick card, if I do say so myself. Especially when it brings out 11/11 Tramples that got so easily into the graveyard. Unbelievably easy. I love this deck. This deck's great. I have no complaints about what's happening here. But I don't really know. I guess heavy aggro decks are what this deck really suffers with. When we played against the Knights, we just could not keep up with their speed. But we do have like Skull Prophets and Glowspore Shamans, which should be trading off with them, Gorging Vultures to gain life. So I guess in the Knights deck, we didn't really see that kind of card pool from our opening hand, which is one of the main reasons why we just kind of bit the dust. But I don't know. I like this deck. It's great. Alright, well that is gonna do it for today's video. I think my overall impression of this deck is that it is a lot of fun, though when it comes to aggro decks, I'm pretty sure it has absolutely zero chance of ever winning. We do have a little bit of life gain in here and a little bit of a board presence to stop our opponent getting in, but they'll just fire burn spells over the top of us. It makes our Blood for Bones a little bit weaker and things like that, but yeah, unless you get like a really lucky Godzilla early on, I don't think you ever beat the aggro decks. Other than that though, this set deck seemed to perform quite well. I would recommend playing it if you're into the reanimation strategy, but as far as grinding Historic Artisan is concerned, I think there's better decks to do it. But before we go, got a pack to open, so why not open up said pack? Ikoria! What you got? Bonder's Enclave. Alright, not too bad, not too bad. But yeah, if you did enjoy today's content, then make sure to hit that like button, subscribe for some more Historic Artisan content in the future. I think I'm probably going to put out one more video with this event. I don't think we've got too much longer. Other than that though, we're going to be playing some Brawl, some Historic Brawl, who knows? We'll see what we can do. But yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you all next time. Bye-bye!